which stocks are strongest and weakest amongst the index component, so that you can get a good idea as to where the stocks are selling off, is what we are going to look at. In order to look at it, let's look at TC2000. And when we look at TC2000, let's look at like creating some sort of an index component list. So for that, what you have to do is just create source list, NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, Dow Jones 30, and I just added a liquidity condition of 100,000 shares to be traded in the last 3 days, so that way you're not looking at very illiquid stocks. So once we have this list, in order to find the strongest stocks by last 5 days, all that you have to do is C by C5, which is just a 5 days price percent change. And if you look at the strongest stocks, then obviously a Chipotle Mexican Grill, which was like one of the things, MDT. So these are some of the stocks, like MDT might go sideways and set up for a possible move. Snap-on, Baxter, DHI, Las Vegas. So these are some of the stocks, top 10 stocks by strength, like Kimberly-Clark. You see, like in a straight up, it has gone up, right? Now, if you want to see what is weak in the last couple of days or 5 days, is FRC, NFAs, Zion National Bank or Zion Bank Corp, MSCI, Tesla, very good, like in a very weak stock here, basically after earnings has been down, and Key Corp, CMA, AT&T, continuations, like weakness in the banking sector is what you see here. So these are the, so similarly, if you want to look at 10 days, then you can look at basically C by C10, and that way you can have different time periods of momentum and look at stocks by different time periods of momentum. Some of them will be same stocks, but when you go on a longer term momentum, you're going to find different stocks are held up well, kind of a thing, right? And basically, so these are the stocks which are holding up well on a 10-day time frame. The similar kind of stocks are down, which you will see Moderna, Tesla, this Chinese stock, Western Digital, STX, some of the stocks will be down, which you will see. Now, if you want to see longer time frames, which is like a quarter kind of a thing, then I have this trend intensity, which is quarterly momentum kind of a thing. And if you look at that, then you'll see that ISRG is a stock which is holding up well. The earnings was good. After that, it has just pulled back a little. After some days, if it sets up and establishes a next leg, that will be a good setup. Lululemon. Then you have, that's a buyout, looks like. West Pharmaceutical, NVIDIA, which is going sideways. Meta, which had earnings after the close, pulled a home. Chipotle Mexican Grill, GE, Align. So these are stocks which are holding up well. And the stocks which are very weak are obviously First Republic Bank, Dish, CTLT, Zion, Key. Now, if you really want to look at like this from a longer thing, like say a 6 months kind of a thing, then we look at like something like C divided by average C 126, which is the 6 months momentum. And when you see that, you will see that on a 6 month momentum basis, you have some of these technology stocks like Meta, NVIDIA, Align, Seattle Genetics. These are some of the stocks which are holding up well. And if some of these stocks start breaking down, then that will tell you that, look, the market may have more weakness. If they don't break down, then those are the stocks which might have next up leg. And on the weak side, if you look at MDT, you're going to find obviously the banks are the one, but Dish Network. So this has been going down for quite some time, basically. Zion Bank, Key Corp, CMA, Lincoln National, Interface, which went down a lot today, JD, Chinese stocks, Charles Schwab, Siri, TS Finance. So these are the stocks which are weak stocks in the market, basically. And that's how you can find strong and weak stocks. And I did this for indexes, but you can do this for the whole universe of stocks, where you look for stocks which are strongest in 5, 10, or 25 days or 6 months. That way, if a stock breaks out and starts making a move, then even if you didn't get in right at the beginning of the move, but if you're looking at, say, 10 days momentum, and then after 10 days it is going up, if that stock sets up nicely for the next leg, you can enter that stock in the next leg. So this is one of the ways in which you can find strongest and weakest stocks in the index component daily.